live from the UK. We've just flown in from France, and we are now looking at a boat. We're looking at buying a boat and going completely free, and bringing you brand breakthrough shows from all over the UK and Europe, and having a brand builder's boat. How about that? So this week on the Brand Breakthrough Show, we are going to talk about customer journey, customer experience, and 7 different ways that we find in terms of building the customer experience. There are 7 things that we do relentlessly, and these are things that I suggest that you implement into your strategy as well, so that you can not only engage those friends into customers, as we talked about on last week's Brand Breakthrough Show, but then continue that journey so that you're engaging them into more experiences with you, more touch points, more heartbeats, and ultimately more income as a result of those customers being so flipping happy with you that they cannot wait to spend more money with you and share about you with everybody else. So we're going to run through the 7 things. And you know, it's really critical that you implement these things into everything that you're doing. Hi Lubna, it's lovely to see you. And for those of you that are watching now, hi Shari, it's wonderful to see you. The 7 things that I'm going to share with you today are really going to help you to make that impact strategy on your customers even greater than ever before. So let's start with the first one. It's all about your customer experience, and it's having that strategy in place. So what is the experience you want your customers to have? So what I'd advise you to do is really think about what are some of the experiences that you've had when you've invested in somebody else's training. Or hi Phil, you've invested in you know, a product or a service, and you've gone through, you know, you've experienced bad customer experiences, right? But you've also experienced really good customer experiences as well. Lisette, hello. So I want you to think back to an experience that you've had that's been so positive that it made you want to buy more from that company. It gave you that warm, fuzzy feeling that you just couldn't wait to go back and spend more money with them. Maybe there's a brand that you buy from relentlessly all the time. It could be whether it's your brand of washing soap powder for your clothes, or a certain a certain brand of clothes, or it might be a certain restaurant that you go to, or a certain perfume or aftershave that you buy, because the experience is a great customer experience and it's relentlessly consistent each and every time. So, you know, just think back to that. So for example, there's a couple of products that I buy all the time because I just love the experience. So, you know, right from the very beginning, even just opening that packaging. So Happy Buddha is a brand that Rituals make, right? And their candle, like, it's the most amazing, it smells divine, but the packaging, so the experience that I receive every single time when I take the lid off of this candle, it just unfolds like a flower, and that experience is something that I feel really good about. And so I go back and I buy it each and every time. And then I bought one from my mum, and my mum then fell in love with it. So now my mum gets them for every Christmas and birthday. And then Jamie came traveling over with me, and so in the Netherlands at Schiphol Airport, they have 2 Ritual shops. And so every time I go, in fact I was talking to Jamie yesterday, hi Missy, I was talking to Jamie yesterday, and she said, Sammy, can you go into Rituals next time you're in the Netherlands? Can you go into Rituals and get me another one of those, you know, deodorants? So hi Wilma. So the customer experience, right? So you walk into that store and they greet you, and it's not overly like in your face. And you've probably been to shops before where the shop owner has been, you know, really onto you, or, you know, can I help you, and they're right in your way. But in Rituals, they'll approach you, you know, to say, you know, what kind of scent are you looking for? And so they come up to you and they're helpful in their approach. So, you know, I'm not telling you this because I want you all to go and shop in Rituals, although it is a great shop. The reason that I'm sharing this is because it's a great experience. The same when I go to Joe Malone to buy perfume. The Joe Malone experience is very unique, right? However, Joe Malone, when I first started shopping with Joe Malone, the experience I had with them was even more unique than it is now, and as a result I've now started shopping in Rituals instead of Joe Malone, because the experience isn't what it used to be. So I want you to really think about this. This is number one, is it's critical. Out of the 7 things I'm going to share with you today, the customer experience is the very first thing that you need to think about on your customer journey, because the more consistent you are with your experience, the more consistent your income's going to be, because the way you treat your customers and your bank account are in direct proportion of measurement as to what your customer experience is, right? So if your bank account hasn't got as much in it as you want it to have, then you either don't have enough exposure to those customers, and so they don't know about you, or the customers that are experiencing you aren't having the experience that they desire to have. It might be an experience you want to give them, but it might not be the experience they want to have. So think right now, I love all the colours and different packages, I know, right? It's so addictive going into Rituals. I love it as well. I want you to think right now about your favourite shop or your favourite restaurant and the experience that you receive as a result of shopping there, and just write a couple of things down. Maybe I'm going to give you a minute or so just to write down what that experience is, what you love about that, and what experience, how you could mirror that within your own business. So go ahead and write that down now, because it's just so essential. When you get that experience in place, it's like, McDonald's, love it or hate it, you go in, you have a consistent experience. Whether it's a great experience or a bad experience, you have a consistent experience. When you go into one of their stores, or Marks and Spencer's or Walmart, right? The experience is the same every single time you come into contact with that brand. We see totally. Maybe giving them the experience you want to give them and not the experience they want to have. Absolutely. And we're all guilty of that, but it's just making sure that it's an experience that they want to have. We did this in the Netherlands last week. I was delivering the Brand Builders Club Members Day last weekend in the Netherlands, and that was what I was talking about. I was talking about customer experience, but it was from a position of really stepping into their shoes. And I know I say this all the time, but you just need to step into your ideal customer's shoes, because we were talking about impact. What impact do you want to have on your customers? And so everybody went around the room and they said what the impact word was. And then we went around the room again and said, what do you think the impact is that your customer wants you to make? And out of all the people in the room, there were only 2 people, in fact Lubna, I think you were one of them, who said the same word when we ran out the second time. So it's really, really powerful for you to step out of your world, because it's not your world. Like, you want to buy 100% of your own product, then do what you like, call it what you like, say what you like, speak about it, articulate it how you like, communicate it about it how you like. But if you want someone else to buy it, you need to step into their world and describe it to them in the way that they need it to be described. Communicate it to them. Give them the experience that they need to feel. That's the thing. And apologies if it's a bit noisy in the background here. Like I say, it looks like we're buying a boat. So right now I'll give you a sneaky peek. Look, now it looks like we're going to be coming over to Holland. Yes. So the Brand Builders boat. Imagine having some awesome strategy sessions on here. Joe, hello. So the second thing is about humanizing your brand. So you've looked at the customer experience, you've got the customer experience nailed, but now you need to humanize it. There's a lot of people that are scared, and maybe you're one of them, not necessarily scared maybe, but apprehensive about buying online. And if you're a business that wants to start selling online courses, online experiences, summits, anything where it's online as opposed to the physical in-person stuff, you want to start selling stuff online. There's a lot of people who are apprehensive about buying things online because they feel like the human experience is gone. Like, everything is automated and systemized now, that you don't get through to a real human. And actually systemizing and automating stuff can make the customer experience even better, because those things that you are automating enable you to be there more. But here's what I would say about that is that instead of automating everything so you don't ever need to be there, and you know, I don't care if I never see another human or speak to another human being again, and I have met people like that. My ex-business partner was exactly like that, and he's in people business, which is probably why he's not in the business anymore. One of the reasons. So, you know, it's really, really important that you have that human experience. Even if you're systemizing and automating that experience, you want to humanize it as much as physically possible. A great way to do that is to bring video into what you're doing. Doing live streams like we're doing now, podcasting. You know, when people hear your voice, it's important. Hi, Sony. When they hear your voice, it's a human touch to your brand when they see you and you're physically showing up. Like, you know, twice a month we deliver a 5-day sprint, which is like a challenge for 5 days. Every morning we get shit done, and it's on a certain topic. So this week we're doing a sprint that's all about running your own virtual online summit. So every morning I'm going live at 7 a.m. in our Brand Builders Club group, and then tomorrow we've got a masterclass for 90 minutes, and I've got 3 experts who run summits that have already made the mistakes. They've already, you know, got the t-shirt. They've wasted money, time and energy on these things, and I don't want my Brand Builders Club members to waste that time, money and energy when you don't need to. You could go straight in to the result, right? And so we do that, and that's one of the things, even though our business is predominantly online, that's one of the ways that I humanize the experience that our Brand Builders Club members have. We have an hour of power call every other week, so our brand builders can jump on if they're struggling with anything. They can come on live and get the support that they need, and we do that at different times of the day so that our brand builders in Brisbane and Indonesia and Malaysia still get access to us, even though we've started as a UK and European business. So it's, you know, it's about like moving as you are adapting, as you're evolving. Your customer experience is going to need to evolve. Your processes, your systems are going to need to evolve with it, and you also need to evolve with that. So even though we started as a purely online business, we added in those human experiences, because actually I missed those human experiences as much as the customers were missing them. And I didn't want us to, at the Brand Builders Club, to just be another you know, online club where it's like a sausage machine. You squeeze as many people into it as you can, and even if people fall out the other end, doesn't matter because you're constantly filling that funnel. Well, to me, it's more important that you keep customers for a long time, and our customers are our family. So humanizing that experience in as big a way as you can, you know, little texts. You can still automate the customer experience. You can still make it human, even using bot technology. For example, Facebook Messenger. You can humanize your customer experience by adding in videos, by adding in little voicemails, by, you know, taking a picture of yourself and putting, even if you're putting it into your automated journey, they have no idea that you're not where you've said you are on that day. I'd advise you don't do that. You know, but it can be a case of, you know, when I created our Brand Accelerator program, when I created the Brand Accelerator program all those years ago, and I'm wandering around the lanes of Brittany, you know, making videos for that program. Well, the person that's going through it now doesn't know that I'm not in Brittany, having that conversation with them, right? And there's over 600 people have gone through that program now. So it's just so valuable. Oh, thank you, Wilma. I get so much value out of being a member of Brand Builders Club. Thank you. You know, and that's important to me that you do and that you continue getting that value. Hi, Brenda. So yeah, like those first two things, the customer experience and humanizing that customer experience, are critical. The third thing is getting sassy on social. You've got all these tools that are available to you to communicate with your ideal customers and the customers that you have, but know where to. And this is another point. This is 2 points in. Yeah, thank God you're here, Brenda. You're finally here. There's 2 points in one, really. The first is, you know, getting sassy on social media. It's great to communicate with your customers on social media. I mean, if you create a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group or a LinkedIn group, and you put all of your customers into that group, you can communicate with them in a way that you just can't communicate through email. Like, if you sent someone 7 emails in a day, they'd be going up the wall. Whereas, you know, you can put 7 interactions in a group, and as long as it's adding value to them, they're going to keep watching it. And there's loads of groups that I'm in and I'm not in there all the time, but then something will pop up and it's something of interest, and I'll read the thread. So it's about how your customers are using social. So be where they are, but also know where to draw the line. And so there was a company called Amy's Bakery. Hi, Nima. Amy's Bakery, they got some really bad reviews. And they immediately went onto Facebook and started slagging off their customers. So know where to draw the line. If somebody has a problem or an issue and they've brought it up on social media, see it as an opportunity to let everybody else know how great you are at customer service and deal with it. It's far better to deal with it. Obviously if you've got a troll, a Facebook or a Twitter troll, and they're just like, for the sake of it, just complaining or something, and they haven't even experienced your service, then just delete them straight away. But if you've got somebody who genuinely has an issue, the best way to deal with that is to deal with it publicly. So don't get sassy on social. It's about really making the difference, being the difference maker to your customers, and demonstrating to others who are watching how great your customer service is, and then they know that if anything goes wrong, then they know that they can trust you. And actually dealing with a problem publicly builds your credibility massively when you deal with it in the right way. Number 4, understand where the line is, which we've just done. Number 5, personalize your communication. It's really, really important that you personalize it. There's like on LinkedIn, for example, when somebody contacts me, if they try to connect with me on LinkedIn and they have just used the same bog standard automated post suggestion that LinkedIn has given them, I don't even connect with them. If they have personalized that message and taken the time to say, Sammy, I see that we're in such and such group together. Obviously, we've got some things in common. I'd love to find out more about what you're doing, see how I can support you, and maybe you could support me in return. When would be a great time for us to connect? I'm going to respond to that. So personalize your communication. Don't just rely on templates. The other thing that I do, like for example, when I launched my first book, we had 1,100 downloads, purchases in less than 8 hours. And I believe, and I know in my heart that, we didn't use any Facebook advertising or anything. Back then, I didn't know how to use Facebook advertising. I had about 3,500 friends on Facebook, and I created a template message, but I didn't go and send a group message to everyone. I personalized that message. So I created that template and I said, Lubna, I'm so excited that I've got something that I really want to share, and blah 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 blah, right? And so in fact, it was more about Lubna than it was about me. Obviously, Lubna, I didn't know you back then. I'm just using your name as an example. But so many connection requests with no message at all. It's just so impersonal. What does that say about your brand and your business when you can't be asked, when you can't take the time to even put that little bit of attention to detail in that first message? That says that how you do that is how you do everything. When you're inconsistent in the way that you come across, it just shows that you're inconsistent in how you run your business, and that demonstrates that you're inconsistent with your customer experience as well. Now, none of that might be true. You might be completely consistent, but if that first interaction, that first lasting impression, that first impression that you never get a chance to make another one again, it's just so critical that you personalize your communication and do it in a way that they actually feel that they're valued. Because when you feel valued, you want to do more for that person, right? And so it's exactly the same for your customers. So value them and treat them as an ambassador, even if they haven't spent any money with you yet. Treat them as if they are your best customer in the world, like they're your ambassador, because guess what? They might never spend money with you, but they might know 50 people that they recommend you to because your customer experience is great, the way you treat people, you're human, the interactions they have with you are all consistent, and they love what they're seeing online, how you're treating others. It's really about that consistent experience. Number 6 is create useful content. Obviously, the more content that you're putting out there as you're starting to build your brand, you're going to get to a point where your customers are saturated with all of the content that you're putting out there, because it might not all be relevant to them. So just make sure that as people are coming into your process, that you are funneling them, that you are segmenting them in a way that is useful to them, because the more you segment and the more you make your content completely and accurately something that is going to be relevant to them, the more they're going to keep following you, the more they're going to share you, the more they're going to want to tell other people about you. And that's when you've got a brand, because your brand is what other people say about you when you're not there, right? So here's the thing, when it comes to creating that that kind of personality of your brand, you know, for example, you know, when you think about who do you want your brand to be when you're not there, what kind of brand do you want to be, what kind of experience do you want them to have when you're not there, what does that look like, what does it feel like, what does it taste like, what does it sound like, what is that experience in its entirety? Because, you know, when you're creating content that's really helpful for them, they're just going to keep coming back for more. So, for example, you could have something on your homepage of your website that, you know, they might come to your website because they've found your blog or they've found your content. They might have come to your YouTube channel because they've found your YouTube video. And, you know, you could say to them, you could have a pop-up. What is it that's of interest to you, or what interests you most that I can send you more information about? And you could divide that into 4 different things. There might be 4 different areas of what you do. Like Val Plummer, for example, we branded her a few years ago. She's the dressing gown entrepreneur. So she actually has a network marketing company called Forever Living Products. So it's not her company. She is one of the consultants for Forever Living Products. And when I met her, that was her core income stream. But what we talked about was how she could build a business around it. So instead of her being the Forever Living Products lady, Val became the dressing gown entrepreneur, supporting women over 50 to set up their own home-based business. And so she funnels them in several different ways. So someone comes to her website, they know that, you know, they're a woman over 50 who's looking at setting up their own home-based business. So she already knows that she's captured them in the right way because she's advertised to get them there. But when they get there, then she has these, I think it's 3 or 4 different areas where it's, you know, let's do a quiz on what would be the perfect business for you. And so her lead magnet is all on finding which is the perfect business for you. So is the perfect business for you something that you create yourself? If so, click here. And then actually I get a lot of business in that way, because, you know, setting up a business and branding it and taking it to market is what we do best. So, you know, she can funnel that our way and manage the other things that she's doing that she has experience in, right? So that's good. So you don't even need to have your own products or your own services to be able to start up a process like this, because you know, I have quite a few people that refer Brand Builders Club members, or it might be that Brand Builders Club isn't right for them, but a different product is right for them. And so I have quite a few people that are funneling people to me all the time. And then, like, through talking to them, I decide which route would be best for them out of all the products and services that we have. But Val, she's done it so that the first step is, you know, what kind of business do you want? Do you want your own product? If so, click here. Do you want to sell something that isn't your own product? In which case, she funnels them through to Forever Living Products, because that product's already created, the company's already set up. All you've got to do is get the training and go out there and sell it. Do you already have a business and you need some coaching and support on that, or consultancy? So if so, click here, right? So she's got her funnel, and that's what I suggest you do, is find out what the interests are of your ideal clients by maybe having a quiz or something fun. You can set that up by SurveyMonkey. It doesn't need to be an expensive process, or it could even be something that's set up and it's gamified. Talk to your website developer about that, or to Jamie Gilliland. Jamie will tell you exactly what you need. So hi, Angie. So Wilma, if I get connection requests on LinkedIn without a message, I ask the sender what we could mean for each other in business. If they don't react, and there are those who don't, I don't accept their invite. Great. you know, and I'd really advise you to do that, even down to, I mean, I've got so many people I'm connected to now, like thousands and thousands and thousands of people, that if somebody tries to connect with me and they don't have a profile picture and it's a picture of their dog or it's a picture of them, you know, at a wedding or whatever, I mean, I change my profile every now and again, but you want it to still be your professional photo as much as you possibly can. And there are some beautiful photos that I'm seeing popping up on here, and if you've got a photo, I accept it, but if you don't, I'm not interested. I want to do business with people. I don't want to do business with machines, and a lot of people feel that way, especially because the customer experience has become so sterile that people are craving that interaction again, that kinesthetic type interaction. So the final thing, step number 7, and for those of you that are joining us now, you will want to go back and watch the replay, because we've got 7 steps to creating a really solid customer experience that we've covered today. And so the 7th one is to really listen to what people are telling you. And I say this all the time. I know I harp on about this, but you really want to make sure that you are listening to what your ideal customers are telling you. As Wendy Watkins, she says all the time, you've got 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. Act accordingly. When you're doing a show like this, obviously it's you talking, but you're constantly getting interaction. Even when you're doing Facebook Lives, people are commenting, they're sharing with you either their shared beliefs, or there might be something that they share as their, you know, you might be looking at that, you might not necessarily be listening to it, but going into groups and forums, you are constantly surrounded by people sharing what their problems are. And as an entrepreneur, you are the problem collector. You want to collect as many problems as you can, right? That's one of the things that one of my very first coaches told me. You are a collector of problems, and it's your job to collect as many problems and solve them as you can, right? And so constantly listen. So, you know, post out a question. I posted a question the other day. I went into a new group that I became a part of, I say the other day, probably the other week. I became a member of this group, and I just posted in there, wow, what a great group. I'm Sammy, I'm from Manchester in the UK. Where are you from? There was something like 336 comments or something like that within a week. You know, that's interaction. So asking questions is a really great way of humanizing the experience, and finding out what it is that people want, so you can really listen, because then when you listen, you can respond. We respond all the time. So with our Brand Builders Club members, for example, we say, tell us what it is that you need. If you've seen a course outside of the Brand Builders Club, or someone's selling training and you actually feel like you need some training in that, tell us, because we probably know that person that's selling it for thousands of dollars, but for our Brand Builders Club members, they'll do it for a few £100, dollars, or euros, right? So we make that brand promise to our clients that we'll do whatever we can, and if we already have that training and that expertise within the group, we'll always look to our members first. So, you know, what can you be doing to really listen to your customers? We got feedback that, you know, running our masterclasses on a Tuesday was too early during a sprint. Thank you, Tiffany. And so we ran it on a Wednesday and we put it out. You know, thank you, Tiffany, for your feedback. Actually, your feedback enabled us to survey more of our members, and they felt that Wednesday would be an even better day for them. So we've switched our brand breakthrough show that I'm doing right now, which used to be every Wednesday at 7 p.m. We've now shifted that to every Tuesday at 5 p.m. so that we can deliver the sprint masterclass on the first and third Wednesday of the month at that time, because that's what our members asked for. So listening and then sharing publicly and thanking that person for their feedback and letting them know what you've done as a result, what that will do is it'll open it up for other people who think, oh, well, I know that my opinion is going to be valued, and they're more likely to share with you what that opinion is, whether it's good or bad. And if it's bad, or you know, their experience isn't what it could be, you want to find out about that earlier rather than later, right? So find that out sooner and act accordingly, and let everybody know what you've done as a result of that. And seriously, you will have, your credibility will shoot through the roof because your integrity is there. And holding your shape with that integrity is essential when you're building your brand and building your business. So they are the 7 key points. I hope that you've got some good learnings from those. I'd love to find out what you've written down. What are your notes as a result of this brand breakthrough show, and what are you going to do differently? What are some of the things that you're going to include in your customer journey for your customers, so that they really are receiving what they want? And by the way, when you share that kind of thing in here, we all get to see how you're treating your customers. So the more you share, the more you rent a space in our head, and the more we want to support you and refer you to more people. So take care, have a wonderful day, evening, morning, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I'm sending you loads of love, and I shall very much look forward to seeing you Brand Builders Club members tomorrow morning bright and early for day 3 of our sprint on how to create a successful virtual summit. And remember that there's the 90-minute masterclass tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK time, which for those of you on Eastern time, that's going to be 2 p.m. in the afternoon for you. So the sprint link, it has been posted. It's in the description of both of the day's sprints that we've posted so far. So go into the Brand Builders Club and find that. And yes, there's a sprint every day this week, Brenda. There's a sprint this week, and every day I'm putting in what you need to go away and do, because it's all on virtual summits this week. So take care, sending you big love, and I'm going to continue having a look around this boat, and hopefully you'll be joining me for a housewarming party on here at some point. Sending you lots of love. Mwah. See you soon.